Here we are again. This is God Talk, Michael Mack's show. We have an amazing replacement for Michael Mack, Will Kurtz, who is going to, the show is going to be called No Holds Barred.
No Holds, which is also a great movie starring Hulk Hogan.
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a movie about wrestling.
You know you can't copyright titles.
I did not know that, but that does make sense because there's more than one thing called No Holds Barred. So there we go.
This. We're going to go viral, we hope, with your help.
And let's not forget, everyone watch my show Seinfeld, which is on CCTV.
Oh, it is? Well.
Yes.
Well, Will is going to attack, like Hulk Hogan, right?
Body slam.
Body slam. These quotes that I have picked, that I've loved, and he's going to pick them at random, and he's so improvisational, so a man of the moment. He can attack like a good martial artist any quote coming toward him.
Okay, I had a bit more to say on this last one.
You go
we were running out of time.
Read it again.
So the quote that we ended on last time: ideologies separate us, dreams and anguish bring us together. Now, I think this is actually untrue on a very basic human level. Have you read the book *Sapiens*, Michael?
By?
Yuval...
no, I haven't. Oh, yes, Harari.
Yuval Harari, yeah.
Yes.
Well, wonderful book. Wonderful.
I read his next book. It's called Homo Deus.
Homo Deus. I haven't gotten to that one yet. In *Sapiens*, he lays out that, just as a kind of his thesis, but a really more anthropological fact, that the reason that sapiens, you and I, you know, the reason that there's only one species of person, and there are several genuses of, say, dogs, right?
Yeah.
And there used to be the same for people. There were Homo sapiens, there were Homo erectus, there were Neanderthals, right?
Yes.
All the other ones died out.
Well, we ate them.
We ate them. Well, I don't know. Exactly. Well, that's exactly right.
Yes.
But the Neanderthals, you know, they invented tools like the Homo sapiens did and all these things. But Homo sapiens were the only genus capable of ideology, basically, of a shared imagination. This is a huge part of the book *Sapiens*, is that we are capable, human beings, of communicating, of passing along knowledge, but also of accepting things like borders, things like ideologies, things like religion, philosophy, all of these things. You know, the fact that this is my house and this is your house, the notion of property, the notion of currency, everything, all these things as we go out throughout history. But it really comes down to being able to grasp what an ideology is, being able to have a shared imagination. I might walk up to you, we're both Americans, we have that understanding of what that means, even though it doesn't really mean anything outside of the fact that we both understand it to mean something. You know, I can walk, you know, take 10 steps and all of a sudden I'm in a different country. That doesn't mean anything other than we've all agreed to have this imaginary line that borders two countries. So the fact that ideologies separate us is actually untrue. The reason why we have grown and continue to grow into a local, national, and global community is specifically because we can accept ideologies and share ideologies. Ideologies like the rule of law, the golden rule, democracy, capitalism, etc., etc., etc. So it literally is ideology, is literally the thing that brings us together. And that dreams and anguish bring us together. I actually think that that is not true. I think dreams and anguish are kind of personal things, and I think to dwell on them is selfish.
Unless he means dreams in the way you did, as can a dream be different, like Martin Luther King, than an ideology?
Sure. Well, okay. So
I'm not sure. Really, a question. I don't know the answer.
I think that's correct. Yes, but doesn't dream denote sort of a lofty ambition? And you know, in the sense of Dr. King, of course, I mean, his lofty ambition is something that tragically we continue to fall short of as a society and as a human race. But follow your dreams, chase your dreams, all these things. The implication is that, you're not dreaming about, getting in home in time to take the trash out before your favorite TV show starts. That's more of a practical goal. I think there's a differentiation between a dream and a practical goal, even though sometimes those things converge. But I think that chasing a dream, pursuing a dream at the expense of personal goals that are really personal responsibilities is selfish, and it tears people away from one another. And I actually feel the same way about anguish as well.
So King's dream for, I have a dream that, we will all be equal and it'll be a just society.
Yes.
That could bring people together big time.
Of course it could, but it hasn't yet because it's a dream. I don't know.
Well, it's done a lot of, we had a black president.
We did?
That was part of it. You missed it?
What?
I think, I love what you're saying though. I would say 5 or 4 3/4 to Kurtz, 1 1/4 to Koran.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Well, okay, very good.
Very
good.
well done.
Glenda Jackson, and by the way, I'm not reading these before I read them aloud.
And
That's
she
the first
is
time
an
I'm reading
actress?
them. Glenda Jackson? I don't know Glenda Jackson.
Oh, I don't either. We should, but I don't.
I don't know. The important thing in acting. So I guess she is an actress.
Yes.
The important thing in acting is to be able to laugh and cry. If I have to cry, I think of my sex life.
Well,
if I have to laugh,
I think of my sex life.
I think of my sex life.
Oh, very. Well, I mean, that's clever. Is that true?
I don't know. Well, I guess it's clever. It's a pretty standard joke construction.
Yes.
A good friend of mine, Dana J. Bine, who's a comedian, very good local comedian, and one of my favorite jokes of his is he talks about the phrase sexual preference. And he says, that's an odd term to me. I prefer mashed potatoes to stovetop. But if there aren't any mashed potatoes, I'll eat the stovetop. I prefer sex with women to sex with men. But if there aren't any women, I'll eat the stovetop. It's the same joke construction here, right?
Yes.
I think it's a common joke construction.
I'm not sure. Laugh and cry?
Important thing in acting is to be able to laugh and cry.
No, it's too awesome to. I would agree with you. 6 3/4 for Kurtz, 1 1/4 for Koran.
Okay.
You're picking only the G or M's, right?
The G. Which ones am I not supposed to be picking?
You're only picking the M. But why don't we stick to the M's from now on?
The M's?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. M. Here's a good M. This is by Stephen Levine.
Yeah, he's written a lot about death and dying.
Oh, good. If you were going to die soon...
I was right, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you were going to die soon and had only one phone call you could make, who would you call and what would you say and why are you waiting?
Wow. Now, see, I have a new perspective on all of these now that I've imbibed Will Kurtz.
Yes.
So is this true?
Well, essentially what he's saying, in essence here, I mean, he gives it a little bit more flourish in a way that's pretty witty. But, people always say, don't wait, call people who you love and tell them you love them today. Don't wait, because you never know. Because then,
bother them.
But of course that would bother them.
Bother them.
And it's like, okay,
if we were going to die, who would we call? Help.
If I was going to die, who would I call? Nobody.
Nobody?
What a creepy call. Hi, I'm going to die.
During these stand-ups,
I'd
call my friend, probably want to call many people, actually. And what would I tell them? I tell them that anyway. I think Kurtz wins again. I hope. We're almost not keeping score anymore. It's about 9 to 1.5.
All right, I got to find another M. I'm seeing a lot of W's.
Yes, those M's. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. The M's are also here. This page, like 9, like there's many on page 9.
Okay, so sorry for not being able to decipher to decipher
There's
all that.
many on page 9.
Page 9. Okay, here we go. 9. Well, there's no M's on
no
9.
M's.
There's literally
There's
zero.
only G's.
Can we do
I've
the
got it
G's?
wrong. It was 2 G's.
All right. I think we've done this page though. Hold on. Here's one we haven't done. This is by Elizabeth Bibesco.
Someone I don't know either. Right?
She says, to others, we are not ourselves, but a performer in their lives, cast for a part we do not even know that we are playing.
Wow, I'm going to read that again.
Yes, please.
To others, we are not ourselves, but a performer in their lives, cast for a part we do not even know that we are playing. Wow. That's clear, at least, yes?
That's clear. I take most issue with the last bit that we don't even know that we're playing it. I believe we're all... Well, maybe that's the difference between someone who's successful and unsuccessful is being able to navigate the part that you're playing in other people's lives, to be able to have that empathy or that emotional intelligence to kind of register or be able to imagine the other person's situation and viewpoint and how they view you and whether that's a role that you want to take or not in life. I think that we all kind of inherently have that not only are, you know, we there's a little give and take, right? There's a little back and forth. We you know, have assumptions, maybe going into something based on everything from, you know, societal power dynamics to who's that guy, Foucault?
Yes, Michael Foucault.
Who was all about, you know, sexual dynamics, right?
So I love what you're saying. I think I would be a better person if I took this to heart. This one I like. If I was aware of how I'm coming across to you. Right? That's what it's saying. Or aware of, oh my Lord, how you see me in your life and what my role is. I often don't like that when people cast me in a role I haven't been asked if I want to play.
Right.
I have a friend of mine that does it all the time. You're a gentleman, therefore you have to do what these gentlemen. So, but at least it would help, this quote helps me to at least understand better how I'm having trouble with people.
Well, if it helps you, then I guess, you know, great. You know, it doesn't have to be for me. You know,
well, I thought it was for you. No, yes?
I don't think. It might be. I think it's less off the mark than some of the other quotes we've talked about.
I see. Okay, I'm going to give me 3/4. It is now 9-2.
All right.
Let me pick. Can I pick something?
Yeah, please, please. Please, yes.
Okay.
I think that's the better way to do it.
Maybe now. Okay, on page 10. I'm not sure. I didn't mark these very well, but Sai Baba.
Sai Baba?
I don't know who he is. The mind sees a magnificent pie in the sky. It dwells on it. It wants it. It yearns single-mindedly. The cry for more is endless. See?
So the mind sees a pie in the sky.
Yeah. It cries for it. It dwells on it.
Yes.
It wants it. It yearns single-mindedly. The cry for more is endless. All these are half-truths, I think.
I think you're really getting at that. They're half-truths because... And maybe, you know, maybe they're meant that way. And now now maybe the reverse, the double switcheroo is happening.
Book, yes.
Because... there is always, you know, I mean, you could say that what I'm doing here on this show and on my show, Seinfeld, is contrarian and just kind of playing devil's advocate. And I don't even believe in a devil, and even if I did, I wouldn't campaign for his advocation, but I do believe that any opinion possessed can more or less be equally and as vehemently debated from the other side.
And we've seen this evening.
So, but in the end, you've got to decide that one side takes out. So maybe it's just taking a stand. So maybe if we're talking about these, well, that's not true. Well, there's no such thing as absolute truth. Maybe though that's what Brother Rudy Giuliani was getting at earlier today. And I decided, because I'm a Cornell West fan, to call everyone brother.
Yes. Brother Rudy.
Brother Rudy this morning said truth isn't truth, and I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Wow.
Because there are, different sides of different flip sides to every coin. And maybe, I can say something like it's like that quote doesn't make any sense and is unhelpful, but maybe it helps you get through the day. And ultimately, maybe that's,
well, there's
okay.
two things. I have a friend who's finally is with a woman, and he says she's enough. And I had a beyond significant other, and I felt when we hugged, it was enough. I don't think I felt that with other people. And so, at least when doing this show, at least doing it, it feels more than enough. It was a surprise to me. I thought I would be whipping your ass, actually. I thought I had these great quotes, and you try to attack them, and I would defend them and drive you to the wall, but no! And so it's more than enough. So I'm not yearning for more. I'm very sufficed at what things are at this moment. And that's a lovely place to be. So he's not right. And so, but you were defending him a little bit. I give us each a half.
okay.
It's now 9.5 to 2.5, and I don't think I have, unless I make a great sprint.
You got to do it. Well,
Yeah,
I
I don't think I can. How's this one from Charles Bukowski? I'm sorry.
Ooh, Charles Bukowski, sure.
Sexual intercourse is kicking death in the ass while singing. At least it's funny. At least it's funny.
It is funny.
Sexual intercourse is kicking death in the ass while singing.
I mean, if you were defending, however, the earlier Norman Mailer quote,
Yes.
they're in literal conflict with one another, those two statements.
And remind me, Norman Mailer.
Norman Mailer's was there's no such thing as safe sex, and there never has been and never will be. And now we have Charles Bukowski saying that sex is kicking death in the ass while singing.
Maybe you're winning then, right? If you're kicking death in the ass?
I guess so.
You're overcoming death while singing.
I mean, I don't know if it's the overcoming. I mean, I picture this like scary big dude with a sickle, and I run up and kick him in the ass. That doesn't seem like a very smart idea.
Oh no, I think of it as sexual intercourse and going deeply into someone while singing. And sex brings death.
Have you ever sang during sex?
No.
I don't think I have either. I'm trying to remember.
No, I never. After and before.
Really?
Maybe after. I'm not even sure after. So
I usually do a little song before, like.
So shook up.
I'm about to have sex, do 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 do, sexy sex, do do do.
So I'm not sure. This might be a goal. Good for lucky Charles Bukowski. Okay, running out of time. Let's see. What was the last ones I picked? Okay, page 21.
Ooh, 21. That's a good one.
Let's see, where are they going?
21's a good page.
I don't think I marked these well. Here it is. Okay.
Here we go.
This is James Joyce, my buddy.
James Joyce. I love James Joyce.
Yes. Whatever else is unsure in this stinking dunghill of a world, a mother's love is not.
Okay, one more time with that one.
Whatever else is unsure in this stinking dunghill of a world, a mother's love is not.
Well, I'm happy for James Joyce that was his experience, but many others have not had that experience.
No, my mother was dangerous.
My mother's still alive, so I'm going to speak in generalities.
Oh, wow. I think this is really good.
No, I'm just kidding. I love my mother. My mother's great. I just thought it was a funny thing to say.
Yes. We better stop right there. Okay, what else? So I shut him up. I win 3.5 for Koran against 10.25. Right? Because you, right. Okay, anyway, even if you don't agree, I need all the help I can get. Will I make a last comeback? My mother was my first jealous lover.
What?
My mother was my first...
That's the whole quote?
That's the
Who said that?
Barbara, I don't know, Barbara Grizuti Harrison. That's unfortunately true for me, alas, I'm going to cry. This one is true. And you're not allowed to talk. I win. I'm taking whatever I can get. Okay. Oh, the tragedy, we still have 7 minutes. The tragedy in the lives of most of us is that we go through life walking down a high-walled lane with people of our own kind, the same economic station, the same national background and education and religious outlook. And beyond those walls, all humanity lies, unknown and unseen, and untouched by our restricted and impoverished lives. Wow, not very cheerful. Florence Luscombe. Boy, they say these nasty things.
Well, Florence, I mean, I certainly can see where she's coming up with that notion, and I believe this book is, or that quote probably predates our current world of social media, which has only exacerbated that issue of people, we say about, people living in their own silos, people not venturing out, and because we now live in a world where so much of what we understand about the world is through the internet and social media, and we get in these
bubbles,
these reassuring loops, confirmation bias is what they say.
In Cambridge, I don't come across as crazy. I don't.
Sure.
I haven't checked. I should check with Seth and Keaton and you actually.
No, you. No, but it's true. So Cambridge has a very is kind of and I spend a lot of time in Cambridge for a reason, because I like the culture of Cambridge. But yes, absolutely. And
but you live where?
I live in Watertown.
Oh, but that's kind of a little watered down Cambridge, yes?
It borders Cambridge.
Oh, but it has other more middle class.
I can afford rent there.
Yes.
So,
so maybe you're not quite as secluded as we are here, although there's so many cultures here.
Yes. But, I mean, the whole idea is you have to branch out. You have to break out of that. You have to challenge your confirmation bias every day.
It might not count. I taught in prison for 10 years, but I was the teacher.
Okay.
So I could really bring my culture into, and I wanted to find out if what I'm doing now in the show, if what I believe was true.
When you are a teacher in prison,
yeah,
did you ever encounter someone that you felt, and you probably would never admit it out loud, but who you felt was morally beyond redemption?
I only was there 3 hours at a time to teach them. One man scared me.
Mm-hmm.
He was really limp. And he said, I have some very special information about Michael Koran, who was running for president at the time. I'll tell you, but don't you share it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't share it. I was scared of him.
What was it? Will you share it now?
I don't even think I remember. It might have been something bad about Michael Koran. I don't even remember.
Well, I hope it didn't cost him the election.
I didn't share it, but letting that man out of prison who raped someone.
Willie Horton.
Yeah, cost him the election.
Yeah, and he drove a tank also, right?
Yes, that didn't help. So this I find helpful. I don't show. I mean, even you and I are of a different age.
We are?
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you've said so far. Okay, we're running out of time. Time flies when we're having fun.
Yes.
We are going to page 16, and love is or it ain't. Thin love ain't love at all. Toni Morrison from The Beloved, one of the characters. Then,
One of the characters in Beloved, was it Oprah Winfrey?
I don't know. Love is or it ain't. Thin love ain't love at all. These all hurt me, these quotes, because they're true of me.
Yeah.
I think I like to love lots of people, and some of it's pretty thin.
Yeah, thin love ain't love at all. I don't
agree.
though, it's from a perspective of a character who feels a certain
Yes.
way in a certain time. It's not meant to be universally true.
Yeah, I understand. You're winning everything. This is like the Red Sox versus the Yankees. Okay, we're wrapping it up. Thomas Merton might help us.
Yes.
The saints are what they are, not because their sanctity makes them admirable to others, but because the gifts of sainthood makes it possible for them to admire everybody else.
The saints are what they are, not because their sanctity makes them admirable to others, but because the gift of sainthood makes it possible for them to admire everybody else. I don't think that's true. I think that what makes saints, and this is true for members of the clergy or any kind of figure that has sort of spiritual resonance for people, is that they have that spiritual resonance. It doesn't mean, it means more that we have reverence for characters that we revere than that they are in any way deserving of it, because we need that as human beings, to have reverence for people.
I love it when someone said that when a great person walks in a room, some people say, what a great person that is.
Mm-hmm.
When another great person walks into the same room, people say,